Hey guys, so in this video we're going to talk about what happens when your Darakaraka or 7th Lord is in the Nakshatra of Chitra. But before we get started, please subscribe my channel and follow me on Instagram so that we can stay connected. And please, if you want to take my consultations, so you can check the link below. Okay, so let's restart our video. So Darakaraka is the planet that tells about what kind of spouse you will get in this life. The spouse you will get according to your past life karmas. It tells about the kind of spouse you will be compatible with depending upon your soul, depending upon your Atma Karka. Okay, it very much depends upon what karma, the good and bad karmas that are bringing from your past lives. So it is very much what a soul actually desires. You will always feel that wherever Darakaraka is placed, whichever planet it is, you will feel that your soul actually wants that partner. Okay, so this is the thing which it represents. Now, if it's in Chitra, so first let's understand what is the Nakshatra of Chitra. So Chitra Nakshatra is a very creative nakshatra. It is Tamasic Nakshatra and it's ruled by Mars. It is the second nakshatra that is ruled by Mars. Okay, the deity of this nakshatra is Lord Vishwakarma, who is the god of creativity, the celestial architect of gods, the divine engineer who designs weapons and chariot for gods, who designs palaces. Okay, and also we'll see here that the fourth house that represents the assets and the real estate, the cars, the home that we have is all represented by Mars, the property. So that's why the fourth house things like the buildings, the real estate, the property, or that cars, the vehicles, and the buildings, the beautiful buildings that we see, the home and the designing of home, the interior designing, exterior designing, everything comes in this nakshatra. Okay, that's why it's a very technical nakshatra. There are two kinds of creativity. One is Venus creativity, that's about fashion, modeling, makeup, that requires beauty or just one talent. But another creativity is technical creativity that requires high level of intelligence and the sign of Virgo. So that kind of technical creativity comes in this nakshatra. Okay, the animal symbol of this nakshatra is a female tiger. The tiger represents here boldness. Okay, and as it's a female tiger, it represents sensuality, seductive power. Okay, that sexual energy of this nakshatra is represented by female tiger. That's why these people are really very sensual and they are really very sexual as well. They really love to be in the relationships, especially in the sign of Libra, and they love that sexual power and that sexual union of the two natives. So they really love that sexual union in this nakshatra. It is a Tamasic nakshatra, and the symbol of this nakshatra is a bright or a shining or a glittering jewel. And a jewel is basically something that shines, something that everyone wants to have, something that shines from far, and we really want to have it, something that is really expensive, but it comes after a lot of hard work. Without polishing it, we will only have it as a stone and it will have no value. Even we have to go underground or have to dig so much to find gold or diamond or pearl. For getting a pearl, we have to go deep into the sea, and then we'll get a pearl. Okay, so that's why it's a word mysterious nakshatra as well, which represents that we cannot get anything in our life without working hard or without giving our 100%. So that's why the natives who have this nakshatra get a lot of things in their life after a certain age, after they really work hard. Okay. Now it has two signs that are Virgo and Libra. It falls from 23 degrees of Virgo to 6 degrees 40 minutes of Libra sign. So it has dual nature as well. It also represents Maya. Okay, Maya is something that doesn't actually exist, but we think it exists. Just like this body, just like this world. It's just a Maya, right? Created by God. It's just a Maya. It is nothing. It doesn't have any existence. As we can see and touch it, we consider it as existing, but one storm can end this, and death can end this body. It just needs 1 second to end everything. That's why we're all living in Maya. Even the video that I'm also making is a Maya. Everything is Maya. So that's why it represents Maya and something that is shining, but actually it has no value and it doesn't exist. Okay, so this is the thing what it represents. Now it shows that you will get a spouse who will be really bold, who will be highly critical, who will be very logical, very practical, and will have a technical approach, will be highly creative, will always want to create something. In the Virgo sign, they may also like to draw. You know, the painters or someone who really draws really well, they might have Chitra in their chart because they really draw so amazing. Especially the people who are designers, they can have this nakshatra as represents Chitra. So if it's Virgo, then it can show someone who is really having a very good drawing. So if your Darakaraka is in the sign of Virgo, it can make the speech of a spouse really very bold. They really speak very loudly and they have authority in their voice. They're really daring and they're not scared of taking challenges. They love technical, creative things and creating something that is technical, like they can go in mechanical engineering or civil engineering or in any kind of field that requires that tactical mind to create something. Okay, your spouse will be very straightforward, like they will be able to tell you the truth. They will not hesitate to show you the mirror of what exactly you are. So that's why you will have to deal with their practical approach, their practical nature. If it's in the sign of Libra, so it shows that you will get a spouse who will be into the creative field or very much interested in the field of modeling or in the media fields or in the even in business can also be interested, because Venus also represents currency and Libra is a natural sign of business. So any kind of business, especially of jewels or any kind of weapon, especially weapon can also be seen from here. Okay, so someone who is really into relationships and really want to have relationships in their life. So your spouse will really want to have relationships and will try to balance the things in relationships. But as it is a Chitra that is represented by Mars, so Mars things will be there, like argumentative behavior or having a fighting attitude and strength and valor and boldness of Mars will be there. And also your spouse will love to use weapons, will really have a very big love for weapons or any kind of jewelry, etc. Now, if you have your sun placed over here, it shows that your spouse in the Virgo sign is someone who is really masculine, someone who is really authoritative, someone who is logical and analytical, who lives in the practical world. But it also shows that your spouse is coming from your past life, who may be a fatherly figure in your life, who may make you acquainted with the truth of the life. As sun is your soul as well. They will have a very big interest in going in the field of engineering or scientific research, or in a field where they require a lot of technical creativity. Okay, will be a natural born leader and will be able to attract people a lot because the sun's power is coming here. They will have a very practical mindset and very much career oriented. They will be too much into serving the people and too much into dealing with the daily life. If it's in Libra, so can have low confidence and will not be able to do a job, will really feel very hard time dealing with bosses. So your spouse may be doing something of its own. Okay, your spouse will be having a creative approach that is of Venus kind, like will love to take photos, will love to collect the pictures, or someone who is using that tactical skills in the Venus sign, like can become film director, or someone who is directing the films, someone who is very good actor or a model. So this thing can be seen from your sun placed here, but it will give you someone who is really authoritative. But as sun is debilitated here, that's why they will have that approach that they will follow you, will listen to you. Okay, now if you have moon here in the Virgo sign, the mindset of your spouse really becomes very practical and logical. They really love to have like jewels or something that is shiny, and very much fascinated by the material world. They will have high material desires and they will always work towards fulfilling their material desires. They will have that mindset that I want to help people, and this enemies will have a very big impact on the mind of your spouse, and your spouse will always think of how to deal with enemies because it's an original Virgo sign, but it really gives a logical and intelligent mindset to your spouse. Now if your moon comes in Chitra in the Libra sign, so it can take your spouse in the field of stage performance, or in the artistic field, or modeling, or social media influencer. Okay, someone who can shine like a jewel, who is really good looking, because moon also represents creativity. That's why, and Mars and moon and Venus energy is coming here. So Mars will give like the fire to these both planets, Venus and Sun, Venus and Moon, and it will make the native very passionate in relationships, very passionate in love, very sensual, and will have high sexual energy as well. If it's Venus here in the sign of Virgo, so these people, first of all, Venus is debilitated here, so relationship problems you may have to face, like you may run into a partner who is very critical, someone who really breaks your heart very easily. But here you can get a very good a career in the artistic field, like a makeup artist. What a makeup artist does, a makeup artist really should have that hands by which the artist can do really well makeup. Okay, so that's why Venus in Virgo can give you a very technical artistic creativity, like editing a video, okay, like performing the things. So these people can become a very good makeup artist or hairstylist, or can perform really well in the artistic field. They really want to enjoy the material world to its end. They really want to enjoy the material world, they really want to enjoy their life, and they're very much fascinated by beauty. Beauty, any kind of beauty, really makes them really happy or really attracts them a lot. If it is a Libra sign, so they can have that desire to be in a relationships. Okay, as it's in the nakshatra of Mars, okay, it may make the spouse really critical or can have anger issues. Marriage may not come easily, they will have to work really hard and really have that kind of mindset that they adjust in the relationships. But as Venus is its own sign, so it's really good. It will make the spouse really sensual, very passionate in relationships, really very passionate. They will not be able to live without relationships. Now if it's Mercury in the sign of Virgo, it's a nakshatra of Mars where it's exalted, so it's really good here, right? Mars here, Mercury here makes the native a very fast forward person who can take the decisions very quickly, a quick mindset. And it doesn't mean that their decisions are wrong. It's not wrong. They are very technical and they are very scientific, logical, and they can do really well in the field of technical things or engineering field or scientific fields. Okay, so it really makes your spouse very intelligent. They can also do good in the computer field, computer programming and all kind of that field where Mercury is really exalted. Exalted Mercury has to deal with the details, and then only they can really take out any kind of conclusion from it. But your spouse will be youthful looking, okay, will have a magnetic personality, will have a bold speech, bold attitude, and someone who is really a very masculine kind of person. If your Mercury comes in Libra, so here it can take your spouse towards business as well. But when Mercury and Venus combines, it actually makes the native very much into creative things. So there are high chances that your spouse be in any kind of creative field, because Mercury and Venus combination is really best for it. And your spouse will always want to have balance in relationships, always have peace and harmony, and will always try to avoid fights. But see the dignity of Mars, see which planet has the lowest degree. It will tell you what results actually the planet is going to give. Okay, now if it's Mars in the sign of Virgo in the nakshatra of Chitra, is really good because Mars is in its own nakshatra and really knows how to react. And Mars is now moving towards Libra, so the enemy sign of Mercury will not be able to affect that much. But only thing it can do is that it can make your spouse highly argumentative and masculine and bold, and these people are always ready to fight, always ready to argue. And it really gives your spouse that natural creativity, especially in the field of technical things. They will really do well in the technical field. Now if it's in the sign of Libra, here Mars comes in its nakshatra with Venus, so Venus energy really becomes highly prominent, or these people will be ready to do anything to be in the relationships. And it also promises marriage because Mars is really very important planet for getting married. Without the blessing of Mars, I don't think marriage can really happen. And I will talk about it later in other videos. But Mars in Libra will really promise you marriage. But relationship wise, there can be many issues that may come in your life, and you will have to deal with that issues. Okay, but Mars is in its own nakshatra, so it's not that bad. But going in the creative things or having that approach that you want to work in the glamour field can be really there. If Jupiter is in the sign of Virgo and is a Darakaraka or 7th lord, it shows that your spouse will be a really wise person, will be critical, okay, will be into knowledge, will be matured, can also be religious. And here it enhances the qualities of Chitra, where the person is able to defeat his or her enemies very easily, and they really shine like a shining star or a bright star. And after marriage, you'll also get prosperity and wealth in your life. Your spouse can be working in the media industry or in engineering field or scientific field that is represented by Mars. But as Jupiter is here, they can also be a good manager and can also do any kind of business that may require jewels or any kind of shining material. But it gives a very wise spouse who really understands, but can make the spouse really critical. If Jupiter is in Chitra in the sign of Libra, so it also gives the intelligence and wisdom to your spouse to be in the artistic field or be in the business field. Very good manager, they can really be a manager in any kind of company that may be dealing with jewels or jewelry or gold or diamonds, will really have interest to have gold, okay, or diamond. Jupiter Venus combination really makes your spouse really very well mannered, very honest, or having a good personality, having a good mind, a clear mind, someone who really understands the situation, someone who really has heart and well set principles, and they never go against their principles. So it gives a good spouse. If it's Saturn in sign of Virgo, Saturn represents discipline, structure, and hard work, loneliness. Saturn really loves to be in the sign of Virgo because it's an earth sign where Saturn can be practical and can do the work accordingly, or can be slow and it doesn't need to rush to the things. So here the native will have to work really harder for achieving anything in their life, or if they create something, if they write something, or if they do something, they will have the patience to wait and to put constant effort. They live in the real world and they are not the person who thinks that things will happen by the grace of God, but they are practical and they want to know the practical or real results rather than something that is a dream. It gives a cold-natured spouse and older-looking spouse. If in the sign of Libra where it's exalted, they really love to work harder. They really love to sacrifice in the relationships. They really love to do their best in the relationships. Relationships comes later in their life after they pay off their karma. So in Libra, it makes your Saturn, your spouse, a very good craftsman who can also use his creative artistic skills in his projects. For example, if your spouse is sculpting something, then he can also use his creative ideas in this, and it really makes the person really creative, having patience, who does the work slowly rather than rushing to the things. I hope you really enjoyed the video, guys. Thank you so for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe. Bye bye.